Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're all having a great and wonderful day. Well, what we have here is just a terrible story of a man once warning people and everybody about what is to come if nobody does anything. And unfortunately, he dies and nobody listens to his warning. Perhaps people should listen to others when they say something and something should be done. We're going to be talking about that and everything else. But first, I'm going to show you this clip here of the story of what happened.
Family-owned business Sal's Deli at Avenue B and 13th Street. It's where I met him nearly 1 year to the day. As the city was looking to add more panic buttons in bodegas, this spot didn't have one.
Always something happening. Nobody really cared.
At the time, Abdul told me he was worried about violence in delis that he'd seen on social media.
People got shot, killed. Sometimes you got robbed, and the police never responds quick. They always come like 3-4 hours late.
For you?
For us, yes. Sometimes it happens.
Police say this started inside the deli. Witnesses say video shows Abdul and the 28-year-old man arguing. It spilled outside where Abdul was shot in the stomach.
He was whispering things to his brother, praying and telling him he's going to be okay, and I'm telling him he's going to be okay.
He will help anybody. He will give their shirts. If he had to give his shirt off his back to some person, he would do that.
Think about my own son. You know what I'm saying? Enough is enough. I'm really tired of the violence. Tanya. Yes.
And T-A-N-Y-A.
T-A-N-Y-A. I'm just tired of this. We have got to do better. We've got to. Now it's getting closer and closer to home.
What's your last name?
Minto. M-I-N-T-O.
I could just, I saw you when I obviously...
Really a great person, really was a great person all the time. So nice to me, so nice to my mom, so nice to
the
my
community,
family.
even when people come in the store, senseless.
So this is what's very frustrating, right? Because we know that that it is pointless to really disguise this as abhorrent. You guys are Mandani, which is not doing absolutely anything, and we're going to show that he won't do anything to try to fix this problem because you need more police officers. If it takes hours for police officers to get there, that means you do not have the police force in order to stop this. And this was all due to the defund the police back in 2020 when New York and many other liberal states thought it was a good idea to defund the police because police bad, and then you end up having this result. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not a huge fan of police in general, right? And I think we got to keep them on a heel of what's going on, right? Doesn't mean that we can live without police, because otherwise we have to go back to the Wild Wild West where we defend ourselves, which honestly might be better at this point, but I digress. So without further ado, here we have this.
Great sense of loss tonight in the East Village after a gunman shot and killed a beloved deli worker last night outside the business his family owns.
That's right. Police believe it stemmed from an argument after the suspect refused to pay for his order. Now, regular customers are heartbroken, remembering a man who knew them by name and made them feel like family.
Here's Eyewitness News reporter Sonia Rincon.
He was so great.
Regulars here are devastated about the loss of Abdul Salah, whose family owns Sal's Deli, saying he just connected with his customers.
The best coffee ever. He knew exactly how I took it. Super cheap too, which was great because I could tip him more. And when I would travel for work, he'd come to me and say, "Where have you been? How are you?"
Last night, video obtained by Eyewitness News shows Abdul's brother trying desperately to get a gunman away from him just outside the deli on Avenue B. An argument believed to be over the man not paying for his order had spilled onto the sidewalk, where Abdul was shot in the stomach.
What I heard was a pop, pop, pop. What I saw was my friend dying on the corner.
I don't understand what could have happened because they were never rude. They were never confrontational with anyone. You know what I mean? They were just like, everyone knew them.
And the Sala family knew everyone, like the Montañez Lugo family, even their dog.
He was like, "Oh, let me see your dog because I want to show my daughter." So he FaceTimed his daughter and showed her my dog on the FaceTime just before this happened, like half an hour before.
We need to install panic buttons in every small bodega.
United Bodegas of America says this deli didn't have a panic button. It's unclear if one could have alerted police before this happened, but making the case for panic buttons was exactly why Abdul Salah himself spoke with Eyewitness News a year ago, saying he worried about violence against bodega workers he'd seen on social media.
People got shot, killed. Sometimes got robbed, and the police never responds quick.
Tonight, the organization is wondering if the person who shot Abdul Salah was someone who shouldn't have been on the street.
When you get away with something over and over and over again,
obviously they shouldn't be on the street. What we're finding out here is that majority of these people that are committing these crimes are either have a very bad home life that led to them doing their first crime, or we know they have been doing something bad in their previous time before anything happens, or we know that they were let out by a woke judge, a leftist judge that feels empathy for people and victims, and especially black people, that they have to be let out because we should care about the freaking criminal because it feels bad for them being put in the rest of their life. I don't care. Now, what you have is that most likely, this individual has been let out again after knowing he did numerous amount of crimes, and this is a constant thing that it goes on here in liberal cities. So, if you guys really feel bad for this, do you guys really want something to be done? Well, perhaps look at your liberal justices and your judges and tell them, hey, we should jail these people that constantly do crimes because you are the people that installed them in the first place. You are the ones that let this happen. You guys are outraged, but you vote in people that let this happen. It's end of the road for you all right? You vote in people that let this happen. You are outraged, yet you are the cause of it. You do not listen. Zohran Mamdani said he was going to defund the police. Now, he has currently backtracked on that, but he said he was going to defund the police. And then you have other people that are saying that they don't want to work with the police or reduce the police budget. You have voted people like this in. You do not have the right to be angry when your own policies and your own emotional spiel allows this to happen. I don't feel bad for you. I feel bad for Abdul that had to suffer for your guys' stupid emotional empathy, your suicidal empathy. And yes, ladies, you take the biggest brunt of this because you're the biggest ones for the vote for this crap.
you're going to commit a bigger crime every time. And we need to punish these people. We can't allow them to get away with it.
Walking into a bodega with a gun, you're sending a message out to the community, and we really need to get in front of this and figure out what we can do collectively to reduce gun violence.
The person who walked into this bodega with a gun last night is believed to be in the hospital now with a gunshot wound himself after one of his bullets ricocheted and struck him. But police have not charged anyone, and United Bodegas of America says if the person who did this is still out there, they're offering a $5,000 reward for information leading to his arrest. In the East Village, Sonia Rincon, Channel 7, Eyewitness.
Nah, it's just crazy, man. It's crazy. He warned people about this. He said this was going to happen, and guess what everybody else does? They put their head in the sand and say, let's not do anything. Well, now he's dead. Good job to everybody that had tried to tell him. And then, you know what's hilarious here? You know what's absolutely hilarious here? Is that they're all angry, right? And like, this shouldn't happen. Yet, you guys had a choice to try to get somebody in that would prevent this from happening. Yet, you vote in Zohran Mamdani that would actually make it worse. So, what's going on here exactly? We have this here where we have a worker at the Sal's Deli and Grocery in New York City who sounded the alarm last year on the skyrocketing crime in New York City was shot and killed outside a store. So this is crazy.
Last night, video obtained by Eyewitness News shows Abdul's brother trying desperately to get a gunman away from him.
Like, what are we doing here exactly? Crime in New York City is at an all-time low. A single murder does not change that fact. No, it's obviously at an all-time high. It is not at an all-time low because this is constantly happening. When this guy is saying, oh, this is going to happen, well, we need to do something about it. Okay, well, and this person is the damn problem. Zohran Mamdani is not saving. It's not saving New York City. It's not happening at all. So I don't know what about this. People like this do not solve problems; they escalate problems worse. And this is something that we need to start talking about here as a society. Like, this is crazy. How are we allowing this BS to happen? How can we, in a country, be in a situation like this and allow it? Why can't we stop suicidal empathy? Why can't we stop people from voting in people that don't have our best interests at heart here? It's insane. And I'm going to show you guys some stuff because this is what people need to start understanding here. All right? Because Zohran Mamdani has said that he was going to do this and what have you. And of course, you have here some of the things that he has said that, you know, he is against. Now, I won't say that he is going to be saying this now, but his background says during the George Floyd protest says then Assemblymember Mamdani tweeted support for defunding the NYPD, calling it a racist, anti-queer, and a major threat to public safety, and saying what we need is to defund the NYPD and queer liberation means defund the police. He also called for it to be dismantled in some posts. That's what Zohran Mamdani said back in 2020. Now, granted, in 2026, he has the FYT 2027 preliminary budget, but Mamdani proposed a $22 million cut to the NYPD's $6.4 billion budget and canceled the prior administration's plan to hire 5,000 additional officers. Okay. NYPD spending is otherwise flat with no recruitments to offset attrition. Current headcount stays capped around 35,000. So you have that here to where Mamdani has refused to hire 5,000 additional officers. And that's a problem. And then you have this here, and explicitly he rejects the defund label and does not propose slashing the existing NYPD budget or headcount. But his refusal to grow the force and investment in non-police responses have drawn sharp criticism from those who see it as continuing the spirit of his 2020 position. His readers at X post show him President NYPD responses and committing to work with the Commissioner on Genuine Public Safety. So, again, where is Zohran Mamdani helping here exactly? Because I don't see that where he's helping. Again, now, I have missed this one fact here, but we have seen where NYC police officers down because it's not looking to be good here, right? Police officers recruitment, I believe, is down. So, and again, we have this here where it's plain as day, guys. Plain as day. Where we have it to where the NYPD is facing a severe long-term staffing crisis with headcount at its lowest level since 1991. To approximately 33 to 34 officers. Due to high attrition and recruitment challenges, while over 4,000 officers were hired in 2025, a high volume of departures, budget cuts, and declining interest have created a shortage of officers below the authorized 35,000. Low recruitment numbers. The applicant pool has dropped, with reports suggesting only 1 in 8 candidates meets requirements, falling short of the needed applicants to fill cabinet slots. The department loses roughly 250 to 300 officers monthly, causing a battle of attrition. Despite lowering the college credit requirement for 16 to 24, filing ranks remains difficult. So, there you have it. So, despite the crisis, city legislature has considered significant budget cuts to the department in 2026. So, again, what is this idiot talking about? He is saving New York City? Is he? Because this doesn't seem like it's saving New York City. At all. In fact, it seems like it's making it worse. And then, let's go to this here, right? Because I think we need to nail it right here on the head of exactly on what I am talking about. Because he said it takes around 3 to 4 hours. NYC police response time, because this is something we have to have here. It says, as of late 2024 and 2025, the average NYPD's response time to critical crimes in progress, such as shootings, robberies, and burglaries, has reached over 15 minutes, and marking some of the slowest times in recent decades. While some critical calls are answered faster, overall response times for serious crimes have increased, often exceeding 9 minutes on average, due to high traffic congestion and fewer officers. So, what are we doing here exactly? So, it takes them longer to get here, right? 8.3 minutes in 2014, and stuff like that. 7.9 minutes for like police. It's gone to 15 minutes. So, how are things getting better here? It is not. Things are bad, and it's not getting better, and we have to solve this. So, again, at the end of the day, we end up finding out on how bad it's gotten in New York City and why these guys' pleas for help, pleas to fix things have gone unnoticed and was ignored, and we can all blame the New York City, let's be honest, residents, and we can blame the policies that the New Yorkers have done to cause this guy to die. You guys are the direct cause. And people like the Green Dragon Tavern is the reason for this. Idiot. All right, that's it for the video, guys. Like, subscribe, share, leave a comment, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.